All right, so I finished up all the prep work that I was talking about in the last video, or at least for the most part. So this is kind of like the finished product. I've scuffed everything up. I've pretty much started with the Eastwood contour tool. Then I went to a 220 with a DA, and then I went to a 220 just with my hand and went in all the tight crevices and places you can't really reach. Then I went with a 320 just with my hands to go ahead and finish everything off, and this is pretty much our outcome. The only thing I gotta do a little bit more up on the firewall section over here. Over there is looking good. Kick panel's good on both sides, good enough. Around the back windows looking pretty good. There's previous spots where paint was already laid over and I can't really get it very well. The visor spots looked a little bit better. It's just a lot of little things. All the chips in the dash. It's still, there's gonna be a couple little tiny chips that are still noticeable, which kind of pisses me off, but I literally can't do anything about that without almost stripping the entire dash down to metal. I could take a little Bondo putty and put it in there, but it's not really something I care too much about. I'm just wanting it to look a little bit better. That's the whole ideology behind the whole thing. So regardless, I'm pretty much ready now to go ahead and mask everything off and clean everything. So I'm going to most likely end up primering the floor first because it's a lot of bare metal. So the floor is going to get primered then painted, but everything else does not need a primer. It's got 2 layers of paint on it. You can see 2 layers of paint. It does not need a primer, and it's just spray paint. So I'm just going to spray over what's already here, including the roof. It's got that nasty red primer, and then it's got all this too. And I sprayed it in the roof. So I'm spraying over this white. I already sanded the passenger side, but it's fine. So I'll go ahead and spray that. I got to tape off the window, tape off the tank, steering column, bag the wiring harness, pedals, all that other stuff, which is gonna suck. So that's gonna take a little bit of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean everything up, take some rubbing alcohol, a couple other chemicals just to degrease and clean everything, make sure everything's spotless, check everything, make sure I didn't miss any spots, and come back and everything will be taped up, masked, and we'll be ready to spray it. Alright guys, so I'm catching up now. You can see I did everything bodywork wise on the dash. I'll go ahead and get a flashlight here. So you can kind of see now it's relatively smooth throughout the entire thing with multiple layers of paint. It might not look very smooth on the camera, but I can guarantee this is glass smooth. I spent 3 hours going over the entire dash, every nook, cranny, and crevice on the front face of the dash to make sure it was as smooth as I could get it. As long as where the visors go, I sprayed a little bit of spot putty here just to fill a couple tiny holes, and then just some on the back. I'll go ahead and sand it all, and there'll only be a little bit left when I'm done. Sanded the whole back wall. Everything's nice and glass smooth now, and so I'm pretty much ready to spray that once I sand those 2 spots of spot putty. And then right now, before I spray the floor, I'll do the floor last because that's what I'm walking on all the time. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm pretty much going to be going along this line, and anything upward, I'll go ahead and I'll spray. I'm going to spray a primer on it, and I'm going to start doing up there because I'm not going to be walking there. So anything above that factory cap seal, I'll go ahead and I'll spray. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray a primer, filler primer, maybe do some light sanding, and then a finish primer, and then I'll go ahead and spray the white. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on the firewall. All right, so here is a look at the floor just after a first coat of primer. I still missed a couple spots up at the top, and then the dash is painted. I think I'm pretty much done with the dash and the roof line. I think I'm happy with that, how it came out. Okay with that. And I'm about to spray the other side, so you can kind of see before. I've welded in this entire floor pan. You almost can't tell. The only way you can tell is you can see a little tiny stitch rim that goes around it. But other than that, you really can't tell, which is nice. Eventually I'll have to cut this section out. You can see it's pretty pitted. But I think it looks good for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and start painting the other side. So we're going to say bye to this really ugly floor. Alright, so this is the carpet kit I'm going to be using. This is from LMC. I've had good and bad experiences with LMC. I'm really hoping this is a good one. But yeah, this is the carpet kit. I'm going to open it up, lay it out, see what it looks like, and kind of go from there. I'm going to go ahead and take this out, open it up, and see what this thing looks like, and let it kind of, you know, expand, because I will be putting it in tomorrow, so I want it to be as flexible as I can get it. Alright, so this is the LMC black carpet kit with a hump, because I do have the taller center transmission hump because I changed that out. It does look pretty good. I really like this kind of material. I don't really remember what the actual name for it is, but I do like how it looks. My only concerns are this does not look like it goes very high up, because that's where your feet go. The actual, or my clutch rod probably goes around here, and that means it goes not much higher past that. So I'm hoping it'll be far enough upward that you won't see any of the pedal assembly or anything like that, but I do like it. It does look pretty good. Sean, this stupid Jeep. But yeah, I'm gonna let this sit in the sun so it's a little bit more flexible, and then while I'm waiting for the paint to dry, I did just paint everything in the interior, which actually came out really good. Everything came out good. This is all just spray paint, and I'm using, like I said I think earlier, it's just a Duplicolor Wimbledon white. But yeah, everything came out pretty darn good, I must say. For coming out of an aerosol can, I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, I'll let this sit overnight so it can cure, so I can actually like step on it, and we'll start laying some Dynamat down, and then once Dynamat's down, we can put the carpet in. So I put the carpet in just to get a quick little mock-up, and yeah, this is super awesome. You can see it all a little better on this side. Oh my god, I'm so stoked with this. I sprayed the clear, and the clear coat literally made all the difference. You can see it on the back wall. It reflects light way better. Really happy with the way this came out. And this is all with just that Duplicolor spray paint. So that's kind of why I'm going into the whole, you can use spray paint, you don't need a spray gun. It's kind of what I'm trying to show you guys. Fitment so far is not terrible. I really like how there's stitching on the edge of this all the way up. I really like that. Although the only downside so far with the LMC kit is it ends really low. I wish it went up higher. I don't know if the heater box will come down far enough to hide it, and I know for a fact you're gonna see all this. So I don't really know what I'm gonna do there. I'm kind of like in a pinch, but this part looks pretty good. But keep in mind I just put this in here just to kind of get a quick idea what everything looked like and stuff like that. But I am so pumped on the way this came out. This just totally changed the look of the truck, like crazy. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this back out and get ready for some Dynamat. I think I gotta spray a little bit more clear coat. I don't know if I'm gonna spray the clear coat on the floor just because you're not gonna see it, so I don't think I'm gonna waste the paint. Yeah, everything came out awesome. Super happy. All right, so the next thing I picked up was actual Dynamat. And the only downside about this stuff is it's like, you can tell it's super heavy. I wasn't expecting it to be quite as heavy, but it is real stuff, which is kind of nice. I'm sorry, I still am battling a cold. But yeah, it's sheets and sheets of it. So we're gonna put this on the floor, the roof, probably up towards the firewall, a couple other places. Just, we're gonna dent in as much of that cab. I wanna actually try to use almost all this in just the cab. The only thing I'm not going to do is the doors, because I'm not going to waste it on the doors, because I'm eventually going to be replacing both doors. So I don't want to waste it on the Dynamat. I don't want to waste all my Dynamat on doors that I'm just going to take off. I might think if I do the floor and the roof, I think that'll be sufficient. If for whatever reason after I do the floor and the roof, it's still not quite enough for me, then I will put it in the doors. But I'm just going to try and see if I can get by with doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out, lay it out, and get ready to put it in the cab. Alright, so these are just some of the tools that I'm going to be using to install everything. Just a regular pair of scissors so I can cut little tiny nicks and corners or whatnot. A box cutter to get in there where I can't put the scissors. And this is just a regular little roller. Now you can actually buy these from Summit or little places like that, or places like that are actually meant for this. This is actually one I went literally to Ace Hardware and bought because it was $2. The ones on Summit are about $10 to $15. So this one's a lot cheaper. It'll work the same. So I decided to do this instead. You guys can see the brand and everything there if you guys want to try to find it yourself. This one is way cheaper. Then just, yeah, box cutter and scissors, and we're just gonna go at it. So this is gonna take a long time because I got a lot of weird edges and stuff like
like that I gotta fill in. So I'm just gonna go into kind of like a time-lapse mode of me installing this thing. I'll come back when it's kind of, maybe I got like the first half of it, the floor done or something like that. So the reason this Dynamat's so important to me is because beforehand it was just straight up sheet metal like this, and you can hear kind of like echoes really bad. And now just with these 2 layers I did on the roof, but it's fine. You can hear how solid everything is. That's why I went with Dynamat instead of just like cheaper stuff. This is expensive. This was $162 for 9 sheets. And this is a real Dynamat, so that's kind of, you get what you pay for. This stuff is gonna make a crazy difference. I mean, I'm just like, when I put my head in the cab versus outside, it's so much more different than it was before. Previously, everything was incredibly loud all the time. Now I'm just, I don't know, I'm pumped. It makes it so much nicer. It looks professional for the first time ever. This truck actually looks somewhat professional. I think the install so far has done pretty good. I have this one spare piece that I'm just gonna stick right here, and then I have one more sheet that I'm gonna cut in half and put in this section and then in that section over there to finish it off. But it got a little bit tight up in these corners, which you can kind of see. It didn't really want to fold, but I'm gonna flatten all that out and get it all smoothed out. We'll get the headliner back in, and hopefully tonight I'll be able to have, I mean, it's literally, what is that? Look at that, it's currently not even 5 o'clock yet, and sun's going down. Nice. So I've got a little bit of time. I can go ahead and get the rest of the stuff in. I'm gonna go to work on getting that last piece of Dynamat in, and the floor and the roof and the firewall up here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get the carpet in really quick and try to do this stuff fast. Jeez, this totally just changed the look of everything. Oh my goodness. I'm so pumped with this. I was worried I got the wrong one because the hump does sit a little bit high, but I think it's because the shifter is pulling everything upward. Because right up here, it looks like I can glue that down and it'll fit. This is gonna be a big time pain to get everything to sit flat. I can tell that already, right off the bat, but it doesn't fit terribly. I do like how it's got the seam on the edge. Goes all the way up. Although I don't like how I have to look at that. I'm gonna have to look at that because there's a firewall cover that goes over everything. That's $300 I didn't want to spend. I'll wait till later to do that. Same with the new dash, but regardless, it does look pretty good. So the side fits half decent, I guess. I don't really know how to call it. I'm gonna need to trim up by steering column, clutch rod, parking brake, hits, fuel line. I'm gonna need to drill a hole. And I'm actually probably gonna have to take my fuel line off, which I didn't want to do. Same on the opposite side. I do like how it is formed right here. It's got this little curvature right here. That is nice. Oh my God, it just makes everything look so much better. Here, let me turn the exposure a little bit down. Yeah, it just looks so much better. Yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff fitted a little bit, maybe trim some holes, cut some stuff, and come back when it's pretty close. All right, so I started off putting the seat belts in real quick. That was just a really easy cut hole, and then I went ahead and I cut just a little tippy top part of the shifter so it just sits a little bit lower. That already made a big difference. The nice thing is, because it sits right here, if you do have a gas tank in the cab, you can literally just run your finger along the edge and actually tuck it right underneath it. And that's a good base spot. And I learned this from Haggerty. If you actually go ahead and you put the seat belts in first, that kind of gives you, the seat belts are generally in the center, so it gives you a nice even center spot to where you can work your way outward from that, instead of trying to get one side fitting right and then the other one doesn't work and then the transitional doesn't fit right. So I'm gonna make sure my transitional fits right and everything fits good, and then I'll work my way outward from there, because anything up until I think like maybe out here a little bit will get covered up by that, you know, by that little footstep trim piece or whatever. So I need to make sure all this other stuff fits. And so far, it's looking like everything is gonna lay pretty nice. So the next thing I need to do is get holes for the seats cut and stuff like that. The main thing I wanna get is the shifter next and work on this main curvature right here, because as you can see right now, you guys kind of see that it sucks. So I need to make sure this will lay flat. I'm gonna get a heat gun in here because it's cloudy out and actually fit this thing. All right, so one thing I realized just now as I'm putting the carpet in that I totally forgot before is once I put this carpet kit in, there is no taking the tranny tunnel out anymore at all. Once it's in, it's in. I'm just gonna be able to take the shifter out and drop the trans. It's not gonna be anything to where I'm gonna be able to take that tranny tunnel off anymore. So, that being said, there's a couple things I need to fix. There's a big gap back here I have to replace and kind of weld into the tranny tunnel. You can kind of see a little gap right over there. I need to put that and weld that in and make a little plate for that. I also, when I did this originally, the transmission sat a little higher than I wanted. So I had to cut the floor to clear it, and it looks like absolute garbage. So what I'm gonna do is I have a piece of flat stock that I took off another floor pan. I'm gonna pretty much take this guy, mock it up, kind of weld it in like so. So it'll be straight again because Craig hacked this up way bad. Pretty much gonna go from where my thumb is right over here all the way to the end right there. And I'll just draw that line, get it to fit, clamp it with a magnet, tack it real quick. It's not gonna be the craziest, prettiest thing on the planet. I don't really care. I just wanna make it look a little bit better than it does. As you can tell, I have a bolt hole right here that doesn't even work. So I wanna make that work. And there's a couple other things I wanted to do while I was here. So I am realizing how long this video is probably gonna be because of how many setbacks I've had during this. This has been a lot more than just spray painting the cab and putting it all back together with a Dynamat and a carpet kit being something I don't wanna mess up. So if this is a two-part video, I'm sorry, but the next part will all be the final assembly and putting everything back together. So you guys can look forward to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get right to this so we're not wasting any more time. All right, it's nothing crazy, nothing special, but you can see that it is now a straight piece of metal. I didn't really get too in depth with it. I just went ahead and just tacked it together and then granite flush. You're not gonna be able to see this ever, so this is just kind of a me thing. I hated how it looked, and now I can go ahead and actually re-drill a hole and put a bolt in it properly. So whether it looks good or not, it doesn't really matter. The whole purpose that it serves, it will do just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop that now. I'm trying to get a move on. It's starting to rain and everything, so I need to hurry up and get this thing back together. So I think the next thing we're gonna do is get the carpet back in and work on clearing for the trans tunnel. Alright guys, so the rain has completely screwed my day so far, as you can probably tell. It's completely soaking wet outside, which sucks. I can't glue carpet in when it's wet, it's just not gonna adhere right. Nothing's gonna stick. I don't really know, it's just, I'm really irritated because it's been so much work trying to get this far, and it's like I'm right there. I just need to glue the carpet in and then everything can go back in. I can get everything else put in this truck in 2 to 3 hours. I can get everything back in the truck. So the carpet is the only thing holding me back, and I cannot glue the carpet in while it's pouring rain outside. Like, it's soaking wet out. So that kind of blows, but you can pretty much, you can see I got a good amount done still. I mean, this whole video, a lot got done, obviously. I painted everything, and you can see the spray paint actually turned out very, very good. I'm really, really happy with the way everything looks with the clear coat. That's just an Ace clear coat. A couple, I think 2 coats of the color, and then 2 coats of the clear. And I think it came out pretty good. I'll probably buff it, actually. I probably will cut and buff that paint very lightly because it is spray paint. But I am pretty happy with the way it came out. Like you can see, it's a really, really fine, glossy. It's really doesn't have much orange peel. Only in a couple spots it's got orange peel. But I'm super, super pumped with the way it's coming out so far. And yeah, but the carpet fits pretty good. I'm actually, as I'm laying this in, it's a little bit better. I've already cut holes to put the fuel line down. As you can see, that's right there. The seat belts I've already put in, as I said earlier, a couple other things, but yeah, I'm pretty much stuck at this stage. I can't really do anything else because the carpet is just a hair damp from water coming out inside. The floor isn't much better, so I cannot do this today, which really sucks. I wanted to get this thing back together today, but that's obviously not happening. So I'm sorry about that, but this video is probably already long enough, so I will cut it off here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm trying to get myself back on the schedule. I'm sick as hell. I'm getting a lot better now. I feel decent now, so now I'm getting out, actually trying to get this thing done. So in the next couple days, every single morning, before it rains, hopefully, I will be out here getting stuff done. But either way, like the video if you did enjoy it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video when I finish this thing. We get it back on the road. I'll see you then. Bye, guys.